in one night? What is he thinking? This is madness. Anyway, so what I'm thinking is I found the question that the guy had, and I know nobody's on here yet, so I'll just wait a couple seconds before I jump into it. So let's see if I can get at least one person to join before I start chitter-chattering too much about what we're talking about here. All right. It's like we have one person on. Well, the good news is you guys can come back and watch this video again later. So if you're not on, that's okay. So anyway, the question we got, let me go ahead and snapshot this so I can zoom it up. Snapshot. There we go. Let me go to my pictures. Whoop. Okay. What the heck? Didn't. There we go. There we go. Whoop. So there's the guy's question. He says, whole lot from Mexico. I don't know why YouTube is not telling me about your lives, but I always watch your videos next day. I'm a huge Origins fan. I wonder if you could do a video where you put heads and weapons and accessories. Oh man, and I didn't. I have to go back to the site to finish reading it. Read more. Okay. From Classic, Revelation, etc. to Origins. So this guy must collect Origins figures, and he wants to see what the parts look like from the other lines. So that is why I'm making this video. I will send it to him in his comments in case he's not here live. So what I have here is I just grabbed 3 figures. I have Rocket Arms, I have Kildor, and I have Clamp Champ in red boots. So there we go. And then up here, what I have is my extras kit, and I got all kinds of heads and pieces. And then my bottom kit is all kinds of accessories. And hardware and stuff, so we'll test those out and see how they fit. Now, obviously, I'm not going to test them all, or this would become an 8-hour video. I don't think anybody wants to sit here for 8 hours. Hey, Pop Actor Rick, what do you think about the new He-Man Adventures figures back in '98? Were they the same scale as vintage? You know, that's a really good question. I actually have a whole video on that I actually made. I actually think that they have some fun traits. Obviously, they were more like She-Ra figures than they were He-Man figures, but some of their accessories were cool, and my favorite figure was the Thunder Punch He-Man because he actually looked like He-Man. So first thing I'm going to do is try out this guard head onto Rocket Arms, and let's pull his head off and see how this fits on there. It's a tight fit as I thought. But you can kind of see how that's going to look. Let me go ahead and toss this in my vat of water. Kerplunk. Now, in case you didn't know whose head that was Scott Knightlick's head. And you can also see what a He-Man head would look like on him. So you can kind of get the idea. This is actually Prince Adam's head. You can tell by his goofy, weird smile on there. We'll toss his head in there too. And what the heck, we'll toss in a bow head and we'll toss it on somebody's head as well. Let's see what else I got in here. Molar. We'll use the snake head too. What the heck, that's kind of cool looking. Kerplunk. I don't think I have any blue heads in here. Strong Ore. Now, Strong Ore is an interesting head because the way it's shaped doesn't go to the right depth. So if you take a look at my video on this, I actually added O-rings to make Strong Ore's head fit correctly onto his body. But we'll toss it in there too. All right, so let's look at your guys' comments. Hey Todd, how was your day? And thank you for the Beastman legs. You are welcome. I'm glad you got them and they made it safe. So when you attach them, take a picture and show me, man. So that's cool. I'm glad they made it there. A-okay. All right, well, while we're waiting for those heads to heat up, one thing that does not work right off the bat is the boots. Let me go and pull off his red boots. And you'll notice the pegs are a different size. And I've tried to use O-rings to bring them up. It's just way too much effort. And so you'd have to literally put some kind of epoxy in there and jam it on there. And even then, it's a lot taller. So if you wanted to make your figures taller, that's a great way to do it. Just adding that one little element and difference would increase your figure by almost a ½ inch, as you can see. So if you wanted to make figures that were closer to, let's see how close they are to classics. What the heck? Come here, Beastmon. Well, they're still pretty short next to classics, but they are taller than Origins. So just the boot change can make a huge difference. I mean, you can see the leg actually looks more in proportion just from that one change of changing the boot out. But anyway, let's go ahead and go to some of the accessories while those parts are heating up. Oh, there's my bin of accessories. So let me give you guys a caution before we get too far into this. If you get the Thunder Punch New Adventures He-Man armor, which are kind of spendy to get, you usually have to buy a figure and tear it off them, do not put this in hot water. It will shrink and shrivel to nothing. I've destroyed one doing that one time, and I was like, no. I think I spent like $60 on a figure just to get the armor. Threw it in the hot water, and it shrank to a big old ball of greenish orange mesh of fluorescent color, and it was worthless. So if you do get these, wash them with cold water only, and do not put it in hot water to clean it or to stretch it or anything else. So just destroy it. All right, so let's go ahead and try a sword first. Here we have a Classics sword, and let's go ahead and put it in Kildor's hand since it's blue. And you will notice it's kind of a tight fit because their hands are just a little bit smaller than Classics hands. So you can get it in there, but the bottom's going to keep coming out. So you could use some of the accessories. I found if you take and you spin this, and while you're spinning it, hold a little file or sandpaper here and sand it down round, then bring it down just a little bit, and once you bring it down, then it will fit better in their hands. And I've actually done that with a couple swords when I first started collecting Origins. So there you go. Let's try a shield. This shield does not have white marks, so I'm not going to try that one. Let's try this shield here. What the heck? The big old... And it does fit on his wrist pretty good. I would not put it on his cuff on his up any higher. You'll end up scratching the paint off on here. But if you put it on his wrist, that does work pretty good for the shields. Let's try one of these silver shields. The silver shields. And same kind of thing. They snap a little louder, as you can hear, into place. But again, not bad. You can block that right off. All right. So let's see what other goodies I have here. I got a She-Ra head. She-Ra. Now, She-Ra's head has a much smaller hole than we had with the male figures. So when you're talking female figures, let's see, who should I put this on? I guess I could actually put it on She-Ra. How cool will that be? So let me go ahead and pull off this She-Ra's head. And you can already see the head is a huge difference in size. The Classics female head is so much larger that when you stick it on there, it almost has a bobblehead effect if you can actually get it on there. Let me try to get this off without damaging her. So you can see, if I was to get that on all the way, the skin color, first of all, does not match. But if I was to push it on all the way, which would take a lot of heat or I have to sand it out, it would just look like a giant bobblehead on the actual figure. So female heads do not work for mixing. Ugh. Jeff is missing. That Jeff guy, where is he? You know, I always thought it always looked better as a mask. I mean, as a mask, it's so much cooler looking than it does as some kind of weird things going on the side of her face, the bow on her head. That looks Barbie-ish. This looks... Well, it looks masquerade-ish on this actual one, but on the other ones it looks more like a superhero kind of thing. So anyway, let me stick this back into its bin. Actually, I don't think this is a He-Man weapon. This is a cool ball and chain. It's actually rubber. I think it came with some dinosaurs or something I bought one time. Some humanoid demon dinosaurs. Wow, that fits really good. I usually use this for Beastman or somebody else because that's a cool one. Let's see here. Clamp Champs Clamp. It does fit in there. Again, it's an extra tight fit. So it's kind of tight on the bottom and wants to keep coming out of his hand. So you'd want to either sand that down or something. Do not try to make the hands bigger. That's a really bad idea. I did that one time and I was not too happy with the results. It just looked awful. So always sand down the weapon, not the figure's hand. All right, let's go and try out some of these heads. Now look at you guys' comments. Hey, welcome from Chile. Thanks for joining us. It's funny, I think one of Strongar's heads, I think I actually sanded off his ears and then painted it silver because the ears just look ridiculous. But let's go ahead and stick that on there and see how, you know what, I'm going to stick it on Kildor's. So we got more. Ugh. So there you go. So it does fit tight. You're going to have to heat it up to get it on and off. So just keep that in mind. Or you have to Dremel it, one or the other. Let's try the guard's head on the guard's body. Not too bad. Not too shabby. So the classic stuff for the male figures works pretty good. Lieutenant Dan. All right, let's try He-Man's head. Ooh, actually, it's Prince Adam. There we go. Let's try the snake head. Ugh. Okay, the snake head does not work quite as well because it leaves a gap in the front of the neck. But as long as you don't aim it that way, you're not going to see it. If you aim it down a little bit, like that, you don't see it as much. But then it's kind of weird the way it sits on the body. But I guess that's probably how it's made to go. So, all right. Let me look at your guys' questions. You want to try something else? And then I'll start grabbing some Revelation parts. I got the tan Stratos Origins. Let's see. Yes, this is a fun one. Oh, wish they would have made the ring around the neck, but they didn't. All right, so let's go ahead and move to Revelations. So let's go ahead and grab a He-Man head. Let's start with the female heads. What the heck? So here is Evil Lynn's head. Let me go and grab Evil Lynn out of the bin. You know what? I can't find Evil Lynn right now. Let me see if I can find that other figure that is like Evil Lynn. There she is. Dun da da. Her skin color matches better anyway. Because we have two Evil Lyns, a gray one and a yellow one. So that is a cool looking head. Anyway, let's go ahead and pull her head off. Oh, it's too tight. I gotta dunk her in the water. To the dunk tank. Ah. We'll fold her arms a little bit. There she goes. That does look kind of creepy. I wonder if that weapons box is worth more than your collection. Thanks, Rick. I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and look for He-Man's head. There's one. I knew I had a couple extras tossed in there. Flea Man. And this is the Revelation head. It looks like a bean pole or a little bean head on this big old thick neck. Does not work well. So the Revelation heads are just too small to work very good onto the bodies, as you can see. So that is a bummer. Bummer deal. All right, let's go ahead and try Evil Lynn's head. Now this actually isn't Evil Lynn, but that's okay. It's the same body. And you'd have to prop it up a little bit. So you'd need something to prop it up. And actually, you know what? It would probably not be too bad. You know, it is a little larger than her head, as you can see, but not massively larger like the Classics was. So if you were to find a way to prop this up a little bit to give her more neck, that probably would not be too shabby. So the female head could be a go with some work of stacking up O-rings and other things. All right. Let's look at your guys' questions. I put all my accessories in my Triclops box from Mattel Creations. Nice. Stratos Origins and Beastman Origins have the same body. Well, they actually did also in the original toy too, so that makes sense that they actually did that. There we go. All right, so one last thing is the attachments. The attachments that they made in Classics do not work with Origins. Let me just go ahead and check that out to make sure. Where is the jaw of trapness? Hey, man at arms, you're losing your armor. Oh, now I found Evil Lynn. She was on top of Trap Jaw in the box. There we go. Oh, just dropping stuff left and right. So here is Trap Jaw. And yep, you have to heat it up pretty far and then really stuff it in there. And then it would probably stretch it out so Trap Jaw's original weapons would not fit in there. So if you took and sanded those down, it would probably work pretty good. Even better would be to actually drill a hole and add a pin the same size and then stick it in. So if you really wanted to use classic parts, you would have to drill a hole, add a pin, and then put it in there, and that would probably work pretty good. So there you go. You cannot use Trap Jaw's parts from Origins or from Classics with Origins. Are you selling the clear ball thing with the stand on your eBay? Yes. Yes, I am. The link's in the description. So feel free to click the link. And that should take you... Oh, I forgot Bo's head in here. So here is Bo's head. And this Bo kind of looks like some kind of weird elf thing from some kind of... from like the Lord of the Rings type movie. Oh, there we go. That works okay. Bo has joined the Royal Guard. Huh. Now She-Ra will like me? I don't think so, Bo. She still likes Seahawk. You are out of luck. Oh. All right, let's put Rocket Arms back together. And let's put Clamp Champ with the red boots back together. There we go. He's just one happy dude. All right. So let me look at your guys' comments. And I think that's pretty much it that I have. Now our cape's all wet. Hopefully it doesn't have the red fade on any of our parts. Oh, Mike, you got yours today, huh? Nice. Stephanie McCollin. Thank you. McCon? Stephanie McCon. Am I saying that right? I bought a second Zodak. I might switch his furry torso with the upcoming $1 from Origins. Good idea. I put all my accessories. I already read that one. You got a treasure box. Let's see. What's the question about Mythic Legends? I ask you about Mythic Legends because yesterday I found a pack of hands and feet. Yeah, I don't have any Mythic Legends except for the one horse and the one female that looks like She-Ra, so I don't have a way to test them. I bought Rey Mysterio to give Stratos an alternate jetpack. Nice. Yes. That is the way to go. If you have Stratos, you want to get this figure here. That's the only way to fix up your Stratos. It looks way better using his wings and his backpack. Now I did use the Classics head on him too, because I didn't like the weird flat chin looking head. So I actually did go with the Classics head and Rey's wings and Rey's armor or jetpack. It looks way better. Much better way to go. So, just my opinion. Which is kind of cool because these parts are actually from the Classics figures, believe it or not. A lot of the wrestling figures has classic figure parts to them. So, and I really like the little red feather paint on it. It just looks so much better. I don't think I even have the regular Stratos anymore. I think this is all I got. I might have one. Let me check really quick. Let's check the pile of figures. Stratos. Nope. No Stratos. Anyway, he's not in my top 12, so tain't no thing. Yeah, it's crazy. The older waves have gotten so high. I hope they re-release them. Actually, sorry if you're a reseller and you're on here. I got a whole bunch stuck in the corner that I'll probably resell someday myself. But for everybody out there that missed out, like on Trapjaw and other figures like that, I really hope they just re-release them and just stick it to all the resellers. I know it's kind of messed up in some ways, but they're toys. They're not made to be collector's items. They're not made to, go to make you money because you happen to get to the store first and happen to hoard them all and store them all. I'd rather have it so that my grandkids could buy them and they can hang out and see all the cool toys and have fun with them than to make it so that it's so rare and so expensive that, so my kids won't buy them for their kids. So I'm hoping they just release them all. Why are the wings different color on Stratos Origins? Todd, you just don't like flying monkeys. Yes, ever since The Wizard of Oz, they have terrified me. That's funny. No, don't spend $70 on a $15 figure. I'm hoping they re-release them. They have to. Come on, Mattel. That'd be cool if they were to stick it to the all the resellers. All right, let's try something else. So let's try some of the Origins weapons or Revelation weapons on these figures here. So just for kicks, let's see if He-Man can wear this larger armor piece. If I was to heat it up, I probably could fit it over his arm. That would be kind of a fun little thing to give him a little bit of extra oomph. You know what? I'm doing that. I'm doing it, man. Into the water it goes. So while we're waiting for that, let's see how this shield fits on his hand. Now, I found with messing around with Revelation figures, it's best to put the hand on the shield first, because it's really hard to get on later once it's on, and then slide it on and then plug the hand in. Ugh. There we go. That shield looks pretty righteous. It's like a Captain America shield if I've ever seen one. That looks even better on him than it does on the Revelation figures. Let's try the sword. I'm afraid the sword handle is going to be way too big. Actually, surprisingly, it's about the same size as the Classics handle, which is kind of surprising to me. And because of the material it's made out of, it actually does stick in there rather well. So you can give He-Man the extra long sword. His hand is really stretched out, though, to put that on there. But because of this paint, it kind of sticks better than it did for that sword I showed earlier. You can hear it. It's the sound of me rubbing the paint on there. It has like a rubbery type feel of the paint, so listen, I put it in his hand. It just goes right in there. Huh. Let's try the battle axe. Give me your battle axe. Oh, I know what somebody asked me. They wanted to know if you could stick this armor on a Revelation figure. So let's see if we can do that. All right. Let me find some He-Man armor. I want to find some that's just regular, hasn't been painted or altered by me. I think this one's pretty close to regular. So let's pull this off of him. Now, with the Origins, you got to pull them off at the waist. So that's why it's, you know, a little harder to put on figures that don't pull apart. Ugh. There we go. And I happen to have a Masterverse. Let's just slide all these guys aside. I happen to have a Masterverse He-Man right here. Let's just pull him out of the box. That way, if he gets ruined, the box is broken already anyway, so. Flea Man. Let's pull off his armor. Take off your armor, dude. And you know what? I'm going to test this armor on our naked He-Man over there and see how it fits on him. I forgot who asked me this question, but when I find them, I will send them a link to this video. So this is the easy one to do. This feels almost sacrilegious sticking this on him. No, why are you putting that cartoon's armor on that cool figure? You know, it doesn't look that bad. I really hate the thin straps, but what the heck. Not too bad. All right, so here is our challenge. Our challenge is we have to get this armor over this figure. And the front's easy, but the middle part's hard. Now, you could do some crazy cutting right in the middle here, but let's not do that. So his legs are pretty big, so to try to slide him up would be pretty hard. So I'm going to take him, I'm going to dunk him in water and pull off his legs and see if that gives us a heads up on this. So let's go ahead and dunk him in the water. Before I do, though, I am going to pull out that arm shield that I have in here. The giant bracer. Oh, I would just throw him in there. Go for a nice bath there, He-Man. And let's get back to trying to see if we can get this to fit over his arm. Ugh. Look at that. Now it's nice and warmed up. You're going to slide that right over there. My water's starting to cool down, unfortunately. If it was hotter, I could get it all the way to the center, which is where I'd want it. But that's not too bad for the start. Dun-da-da. Oh, he's got an extra little shield thing. Ugh. Pull it off before it cools too much. All right. Yeah, my water's really cooling down. It's at 195. Usually I need it at 205 to be hot enough to do anything. So I don't think this is going to work. Yeah. Yep, I can't get it hot enough. Okay, let me go boil some water. I'll be right back. Oop. This guy's hand's just always falling off. I'm going to keep him in the hot water, though, while I'm doing this, so he can continue to stay warm. You guys can watch him heat up. Careful, you come in here. Right on the edge vicariously. Doesn't reach. Try to move your pink soap. That's fine. If you're just boiling in here, let me know, please. Okay. All right, I got that water on. It is starting to heat up. And then I'll go swap it out in a minute. But in the meanwhile, we can look at your guys' questions and see what you have with this big mess I'm creating on my desk. Let's see. I'm surprised the paint doesn't chip in that hot water. Yep, it hasn't yet. So when it does, I guess it'll be the first. It's up to 201 now. Maybe it might get hot enough to take his legs off without. Just let it sit there for a while. I'm really not a fan of the Masterverse figures. The only one I've seen so far I like was Fisto. Fisto's a good one. There's some other good ones too. I mean, Beastman has some of his pluses except for his head. But once you, if you were to swap out his head, like that one I showed earlier today that I was working on. Wherever I stuck them now. Where are those? Here they are. See? That does not look too bad if I was to paint it up and do it right. Of course, we'll need armor too. But the 2000X one's coming out, so I'm going to wait for that and then do some customizing. And I think Evelyn is pretty cool too. She's not too bad. She's not too bad. And they're coming out with some new ones that aren't even from the new cartoon. I think that's pretty cool too. Oh yeah, Man at Arms is pretty cool too. Where is my Man at Arms? There he is. Man at Arms. Yes. The Man at Arms is pretty cool. I do like the way they did his armor and stuff. Obviously, the one thing I don't like about these figures, which I know is kind of weird, is it's the belt on the loincloth. I don't know why it bothers me. It's just the extra long stretchiness of it. It's just kind of weird. And I think that's what throws me off on these figures every single time is how that belt looks. So weird. But yeah, his face is cool looking. Have you seen the He-Man's Origins cartoon yet? Did they make one yet? Nope, they haven't made one yet. They have the computer graphic one, and they have the Revelation one, but not an Origins one. All right, I hear my water boiling in there. Let's give this one more shot, and if not, then I'll go grab some fresh water. Yep, time to go grab some fresh water. I'll be right back with some fresh water.
Not boiling yet.
Oh, it's not? Oh, I thought I heard it boiling.
Yeah, I thought I did too. That's why I went in there.
Boil, boil. Nope, it's starting to churn up now.
No?
Come on. It's weird. Right as it starts to boil, you see the water start to churn on top. The top layer of it's really weird. Almost like it's going down a drain. Oh, that looks pretty hot now. I'm always afraid this beaker's going to shatter when I pour the hot water into it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I usually have hot water at the bottom to begin with, but this time I didn't have that. Thank you. All right, I have my hot water. There it is. Let's go and stick them in there now. Herb. Is that better, He-Man? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at your guys' questions now. I do like the way better proportions and articulation on the Revelation figures and classics. Yeah, there's one thing that kind of bothers me, as you guys have heard me complain about already, and that is when it comes to the elbow joints. This weird little dent in here, it's just kind of bothers me the way it looks. I like the knees. The knees are cool. The boots are a little strange to me. So the boots, the loincloth, and the elbows, and the lack of lats on the side are the only things that really bother me about these figures. Especially with He-Man. He-Man should have some massive lats. That'd be cool. And then, of course, I don't know. It's just something weird about the boots. I can't put my finger on it. It's kind of strange looking. But yeah, I mean, they're not bad figures. They're kind of cool. And if I didn't have my classics already, well, you already told you before. If I didn't have my classics, I would go with the Origins because they remind me the most of my childhood with the He-Man figures. All right, he's cooking in there. I understand those who have classics while they don't like Masterverse, but I never had any classics, so Masterverse is perfect for me, and the price is great. Yes. Yep. If you've never had classics, definitely. And the classics aren't perfect. I mean, they have issues, like this big old hole in every single joint. You know, and the knee and the elbow and the ankle for the older ones, you know, those were unsightly. And so the cool part is with Masterverse, you don't have those big old holes, which is cool. And, you know, they actually did do it right with making the elbow the part that moves for the joint. It's having that a separate third piece. That does make a lot of sense. That's how I would probably design it too. It's just a couple things, just kind of little things that bother me, but I mean, look at the proportion difference. If they made them like this proportion for the chest and the lats, I would be all over it. It'd be really cool. I mean, this guy's so much shorter, and his arms are more defined, and even the elbow moves really good on these. And you can still get a really nice movement on them, even though they don't have the double jointedness. Same with the knees too, the way they hit them, the aesthetic feature. I think it's kind of cool. Now the shoulder joint's not right, and there's no bicep cut. So if they had those two features, fix the shoulder and fix the bicep cut, that'd be cool. But the shoulder has its purpose. It's to hide that joint right there. You know, let me get a light on here while we're talking. There we go. So you can see that the idea of angling this down was to hide that shoulder joint. Otherwise, you'd have that unsightly joint right across the top of the shoulder. Actually, how does Revelations do it? I never really paid attention, because they don't have an unsightly shoulder joint either. And they still go pretty good for the height. You know, I don't know how they did it. They did something different, but that does work pretty good, actually. And it goes straight up and down at some weird angle. So they did the shoulder joints right on this figure. I think it's because they have this flared out a little bit to kind of cover those joints is what's going on. But anyway, let's go ahead and pull them out. Yes, the V taper. It's exactly what I'm talking about there. Now that we have him out of the hot water, let's yank his legs off there. Oof. Whew, that's hot. And where did I set that armor? Here it is. Let's see if we can't get this to fit over his loincloth. You can do it. We got one side. Now the other. Over the back. A little bit of stretch under his lats there. Okay, a lot of stretch. I should have heated it up to stretch it out. But you can see now we kind of got it. Now we got the legs off. That's the trick. And then it just requires a little bit of stretching. I'm not going to do this. I don't want to stretch it out. But if you wanted to keep this permanent, all you have to do is heat it up and stretch it a little bit and then pop it in place and it would work. So if you heated this up in the hot water too, then you can get this on there as well. All right. Let me go and put his legs back together. Hooray. Hooray. Now he's got some loose. Hopefully they tighten up as it cools down to lay him flat. Stay, He-Man. All right, is there any Skeletor figure at the right size to hold one of the marbles like an orb in his hand? All right. Great question. You're talking the 1-inch marbles, right? Which are kind of big, but I could see getting a smaller marble to do it, then it probably would work. But let's see if we got a slappy hand for Skeletor. Skeletor. And where is my baggie of parts? There they are. You know what? This hand would probably work. It's actually a He-Man hand, but you could paint it blue. So it has kind of rounded fingers on it. Skeletor doesn't have any slappy hands. It's also a big giant red hand in here. I'm not sure whose that is. That would probably work too. All right. Now again, this is not Skeletor's hand. This is actually He-Man's hand from the Savage He-Man. But he has kind of that gripping. Now it is heavy, so you may have to monkey with it for a little bit. But there you go. If you were to paint that blue, you would then have the orb in his hand, holding it. The boy power. His elbow wants to give, so you may have to raise his whole arm up. That way his elbow won't give out on you. Dun, da, da. So a little bit of purplish blue paint, and you got it. Let's see. Lights off. Night sky. on, Siri. There we go. There's the night sky. Let's charge this thing up. Burp. There we go. Skeletor with his glowing orb. The orb of power. I have the power. All right. The first clear ball and stand you have on eBay, does it come with He-Man Origin? The only one that comes with a figure is the one that comes with the Sorceress and the lighted stand on the bottom. The other ones do not include any figures. So the only one that has figures is just the one that has the Sorceress, and it shows her standing with the lighted stand. It comes with the stand, the flashlight, and the figure. The other ones are just the orbs only. And the unpainted ones, which are $20 a piece, come with a random orb, but not blue. So you will get either yellow or this weird orange kind of reddish color, whatever it is, I can't tell. Or a green one, but it's random. And the blue ones I'm saving for the higher auctions. So, good question. What kind of Marvel was that? Where did you get it? I need that in my life. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Color O'Connor. We'll use the power of the orbs to capture Castle Grayskull and defeat the oversized Boob He-Man once and for all. That's funny, Pierce. Good stuff. Doesn't Classics Grayskull have a marble with the castle? No, it only has a holder, not the marble. Oh, the glow-in-the-dark orb. Great question. I bought a whole bunch of them on Amazon. They're 1-inch marbles. I think it was like $17 for 14 of them or something like that. But if you want to save the $17, you can just buy my cool unpainted orb stand for $20, and I will throw in one glowing orb at random, except blue. Or I have the ones that are blue with a painted orb stand, and they're on eBay right now. And surprisingly, they're actually kind of low. I think one's like 22 and one's like, I don't know, 24 or something. I don't know. The one with the Sorceress is higher. It's like up to 81 or something right now. But the link should be in the description. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of these glow-in-the-dark marbles. I just bought some more. Look at all those cool colors. And yeah, they all glow. It's kind of fun. Let me charge them up so you can see. And it's weird. The lighter colors in the green glow brighter. The darker colors, like the dark blues, and some of the other ones don't glow quite as bright. So they are cool. All right, I think that's probably about it. Sorry about keep pushing these all the time, but not everybody who sees my video gets to see all these. It's funny. You know why I made these stupid things? My wife and I kind of laugh about it. Is I wanted these two blue marbles. Oh, there we go. These two blue marbles. A light one and a dark one. And so then I had all these marbles left over because I got 14 of them. So I have 12 marbles left over. And I said, well, how can I get rid of these? It's like, you know what? If I made some orb stands and sold them, I could randomly throw marbles on there and get rid of them. So I made the orb stands just to get rid of the marbles. And I asked my son if I can give them to my grandson. He's like, no, he's got enough stuff. He doesn't need marbles. So it's kind of funny is I only made these to offload these marbles. So people ask, hey, can you sell me an orb stand on a marble? It's like, oh, that kind of defeats the purpose. I'm trying to get rid of the marbles. But they are cool. Like I said before, you would tend like different things depending on the marbles you have for the coloring. But anyway. All right. Hey, thanks, All Music Fan, for joining us. Custom Classics Anakin Skywalker figure. I do, but it's he. Unfortunately, Anakin's dressed as Darth Vader. Yep, there's Jeff. Yeah, Skeletor was looking like you could tell like it was so bright that it turned his hand a pinkish hue, yellowish hue. Brr. It does look weird having that hand on there. I wonder how good he can hold it with this one hand. Probably not so well. I suppose I probably could heat the fingers up and stretch them out. You know that? That would probably work too if you were to heat them up, stretch them out, and then chill them. I guess he could do the double-handed orb hold. Not as cool as the one-handed orb hold. Classics Grayskull on eBay. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I've seen them for only 1,000, so. Ugh. All right, well, that's all I got. They won't give a Revelation Skeletor the proper gripping hand. All right, well, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I should have some cool skit videos coming up soon that we're putting together just for fun, and hopefully they go over well. If you like them, let me know. If you don't, you're like, oh, horrible dad jokes, let me know that too. So it'll be kind of fun. And if you do like them, make sure you share them around, because I think that's where I'm running into problems is people aren't finding my videos funny enough or fun enough to share. So we're going to try something a little different, some short little skit fun videos for purposes of sharing. Thoughts on Revelation's Trapjaw? He's on the way. I haven't got him yet. Let me see. Is he actually? No, he's not on the way yet. He's just on pre-order. Oh, wait. No, he is on the way. That's right. He's one of the figures that were shipped on Thursday to me. So I should be getting him soon. How Skeletor's neck holds up in everyday life. Well, in 2000X, he had no neck. Remember that? It was the floating skull, which I wondered how much magnetic force or whatever force held that skull on there. How much punching power would He-Man need to have to knock the skull right off his head and just fling across, you know? I always thought it'd be kind of fun to get one of those magnetic toys that float and somehow rig a Skeletor skull and test it and see with flinging power how much it would take to knock it off there. But what did I miss here with all the heads? Well, the cool thing is you can go back and rewatch the video, man. All right. Like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next video. Bye now.